You've heard of the Vikings, fierce warriors with horned helmets, right? Well, forget the myths. Here are 50 amazing, surprising, and downright weird facts about the real Vikings from history. 1. Vikings never wore horned helmets in battle. That's a myth from 19th century opera. 2. The word Viking actually means to go on an expedition, or to raid in Old Norse. 3. Vikings were expert shipbuilders. Their longships could travel both oceans and shallow rivers. 4. They were some of the first Europeans to reach North America, 500 years before Columbus. 5. The famous Viking, Leif Erikson, called the new land Vinland, which means land of wine. 6. Vikings used ravens to navigate at sea, releasing them to find land. 7. They believed the world was held together by a giant tree called Yggdrasil. 8. Viking women had more rights than most European women at the time, including divorce and owning property. 9. Their days were named after Norse gods, like Thursday, named after Thor. 10. Vikings were obsessed with personal hygiene. They bathed weekly and used special combs and tweezers. 11. They used runes instead of letters, an ancient writing system called the runic alphabet. 12. Vikings often buried their dead in boats to honor their journey to the afterlife. 13. They didn't just raid, they traded goods like furs, silver, spices, and slaves. 14. Some Viking warriors were called berserkers. They fought in a trance-like rage, wearing bear skins. 15. Vikings believed in Valhalla, a warrior's paradise where fallen heroes fought all day and feasted all night. 16. Norse mythology inspired modern fantasy, from Marvel's Thor to Tolkien's Middle-earth. 17. Viking helmets had nose guards but no horns. 18. They used sunstones to navigate even in cloudy weather. 19. Vikings had their own justice system. They held public courts called things. 20. The Viking Age lasted from about 793 to 1066 AD. 21. Some Viking kings ruled parts of England, Ireland, and even Russia. 22. Vikings used poetry to tell stories and preserve history. These poems were called sagas. 23. The longest Viking ship ever found was over 36 meters long. 24. Viking warriors used axes more often than swords, because axes were cheaper to make. 25. They played board games like Nefertafel, a strategic game similar to chess. 26. Viking shields were round, wooden, and often brightly painted. 27. Their gods included Odin, god of wisdom, Thor, god of thunder, and Loki, the trickster. 28. Some Viking women fought in battle. They were known as shield maidens. 29. Vikings practiced human sacrifice to honor the gods, though it was rare. 30. The Norse believed in 9 worlds, all connected through Yggdrasil. 31. Their warriors often filed their teeth to appear more fearsome in battle. 32. The Viking diet included fish, meat, dairy, grains, and even beer. 33. Vikings used the stars and coastlines for navigation, long before compasses. 34. Viking helmets were sometimes made from iron or hardened leather. 35. Some Vikings dyed their hair blonde using lye soap. It was considered beautiful. 36. They believed dragons and sea monsters lived in the deep oceans. 37. The Norse calendar had only 2 seasons, summer and winter. 38. Vikings were tall for their time, averaging around 5 feet 7 inches, which was above average in Europe then. 39. They used skis and ice skates made of bones to travel during winter. 40. Viking raids led to the founding of cities like Dublin and York. 41. They crafted jewelry from silver, bronze, and even glass beads. 42. Vikings believed in fate. A person's life path was controlled by the Norns, similar to Greek fates. 43. They often tattooed their bodies with runes and mythological symbols. 44. Vikings feared Ragnarok, the end of the world in Norse mythology. 45. They believed that the first humans were created from trees. 46. Viking warriors would sometimes throw spears over enemy lines before battle, a ritual dedicated to Odin. 47. The Vikings had no central king, they lived in clan-based societies. 48. Viking children were trained for war from an early age. 49. Viking explorers reached as far as Baghdad during their travels. 50. Many Viking descendants still live in Scandinavia, and their DNA has spread worldwide. Which Viking fact surprised you the most? Leave a comment below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more amazing history facts.